All right, folks, it's Bass Action back in action here. In this video, I'm going to go through a couple examples related to law of cosines and just review how do we know what method to use on a particular triangle. So we're going to jump into our first example here. We've got two basic examples here and then some applications. When we first look at this triangle, what we're going to notice is that it's not a right triangle. Now, you could certainly use your converse Pythagorean theorem to verify it's not a right triangle, but if you don't have a quick indicator that it's a right triangle, it's not. Then what we would do is we would look at this and say, hey, do we have a link? Do we know the measure of any of our angles and the measure of the side across from it? Since we don't know any of those things, we don't have a link, our option is to use a law of cosines. So what you're going to do is you're going to find any angle. It actually makes no difference as long as you follow the rule, start and end with the same law. So on this triangle, I'm just going to start with A because it's alphabetical. No reason for that, no other reason. So I'm going to say cosine of A because I'm looking for an angle and I'm going to work with that angle format. Since A is going to be the one I want to find, I'm going to put my peace fingers, and you should probably do it, put your peace fingers physically on the 10 and the 15. That'll remind you of what you're doing on this formula. Your peace fingers are going to be squared and added together. In the numerator and the denominator, you're going to multiply them by 2. Across from the angle you want to find is that last side that you haven't yet used. You're going to subtract the square of that number. Now, you're going to type all this into your calculator. Remember, in the other video, I suggested entering all this into your calculator. Press enter. Then hit divided by for the fraction bar. Then you're going to do a parentheses and do a times and a times. Do not use additional parentheses down here. It won't work in your calculator. You're going to get some crazy looking decimal when you do this, and then you'll do your inverse cosine. Again, if you're struggling with the calculator, please talk to someone in class and we can get that straightened out for you. So we'll get the measure of angle A of 23 degrees. I can put that in my picture. Now I'm going to do my law of cosines again. I am not going to switch to law of sines. Remember, we saw in the other videos that that might not work for you, and it's a little bit of a roulette of whether or not it will or won't. So the next one I'm going to find is angle B. Why? Because it's alphabetical. No real reason at all. So if I want to find angle B, I'm now going to put my peace fingers right here, and I'm going to say cosine of B. Then I'm going to give myself my fraction bar. Where my peace fingers are, I'm going to square those and add them together. I'm going to put them in the denominator, times 2. And then I'm going to subtract the square of the side that's across from the angle I want. So I'm going to subtract 15 squared. Same deal as before. You're going to type all this in. You're going to get a funny decimal. You're going to do inverse cosine, that second shift of cosine, and you'll get an angle. Your angle for this one should turn out to be 122. Just like before, if you're not told, we're going to round it to the whole number. That will allow you then to just find your measure of angle C. You don't have to do law of cosines again. You can just subtract from 180 and get a 35 degrees. So that would be your 3 angles. Now in the next one, we're going to look at this. And again, we have no indicator that this is a right triangle. There's nothing here that would tell you that, so just assume it's not. So no right triangle methods. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to say, hey, do I have a link? Do I know the measure of an angle and the measure of the side across from it? The answer is no. So since you do not know the measure of an angle or the measure of a side across from it, we are going to go ahead and do our law of cosines. So you're going to put your, this is the angle that we know. So that means our peace fingers go right around the angle that we know. I'm going to use our shortcut formula, the one that we went to the effort of rearranging, and I'm going to use that one to find the measure of this side A. Remember, that's all going to be under a big square root. We're going to take our peace fingers, we're going to square them and add them together. Then we're going to subtract, and this is where I mentioned in the video, when you type this in your calculator, you're going to do a parentheses, and then you'll take your piece fingers and you're going to multiply them by 2. So you'll have a 2 times a 15 times your 27 times your cosine of 30. If you type all this in your calculator, either with or without the square root, type all this in, and then you can either do it with the square root or do the square root after, you will get an A value of approximately 16.3. Now, this is one of the rare times that we have to use a previous number to find a later number. Again, do not switch to law of sines even though you have a link. It might work, it might not. Don't take that chance. Instead, we're going to say, hey, let's find another angle. I'm going to find B. Why B? Because I like to work alphabetically. It makes no difference. So I'm going to find B. So now I'm going to go back to my other format. I'm going to say cosine B. I'm going to give myself my fraction bar. I want B, so my piece fingers go right here. Okay. Take the piece fingers, square them, and add them together. In the denominator, we're going to multiply them by 2. And we are going to subtract the square of the side across from it. So we're going to subtract that 27 squared. It's a really messy 27, and I apologize for that. Okay, now type all that into your calculator. Remember to use your inverse cosine to find your angle, and then your angle for B will be approximately 119 degrees. Of course, if you have angle B, then you can easily get angle C because now you have 2 of the 3 angles, so angle C is going to be 29 degrees. Okay, the next then that I'm going to look at, again, I am going to break this into 2 separate videos. We're just going to do parts A through C in this video, is to find the approximate area of this quadrilateral, okay? So here's what I want you to recognize. We can take this quadrilateral and we can break this down into triangles. Now, since we already know 2 angles, we don't want to break up the angles that we have. So we're going to draw in a diagonal here and create 2 triangles. What you should notice right away is that on this first triangle here, I should say this triangle here on the left, okay, on this triangle here on the left, I could actually find the area of this triangle right now. So we're going to find the area of these 2 triangles. And I can find that area because it's a side angle side pattern. So I could do this one by simply doing 1/2 18 times 40 times the sine of 70. That's going to give me the area of that triangle, okay? Now, to find the other triangle, I need some more information. So I need to be able to move from this triangle to this triangle. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put a Y on here. And I'm going to find the length of this diagonal right here, okay? So if I find the length of that diagonal, when I look at this triangle, it's not a right triangle. I have that nice side angle side pattern. So I'm going to find Y by doing my law of cosines. This is the angle I have. Piece fingers go here. 18 squared plus 40 squared minus 2 times 18 times 40. So it's 2 times the piece fingers. And then the cosine of 70. So that's going to get me a diagonal of about 37.8. Now that's going to allow me, now I'm in a completely separate triangle. So here I actually can switch laws if I want. So when I get to this triangle over here, I need something else in this triangle to be able to actually find its area. So what I'm going to do here, you've got several options, I'll be honest, so don't feel like you have to do this exactly as I am doing it. But what I'm going to do, since I know that this side right here is now 37.8, if I could get a nice side angle side pattern in this triangle, I could do the area just like I did in the other triangle. So I'm going to choose to find what I'm going to call Z. I'm going to find the measure of this angle, and I'm going to use it doing law of sines because I have an 87 and a 37.5. Again, I can switch laws because this is a whole new triangle. It's not the triangle I started with, it's a whole new triangle. So in my triangle on the right, I can say that 37.8 divided by the sine of its angle of 87 is equal to, I can now say my 32 over my sine of, sorry, I actually meant to put this as an x here. I wanted to put this as an x up here. I want to do my 32 over the sine of x, okay? I have to find this angle before I can get this z. I do want z eventually, but I've got to get this x first, okay? So I'm going to solve for this angle x, so that's going to give me x is approximately 58 degrees, which makes z 35 degrees. Okay, this is going to take some practice. You're going to probably have to slow this down and really look at this and think about it. It's not going to be a quick, immediately thing. So now we have everything that we need to find the area of this triangle over here. I'm going to go ahead and put a little plus here because I'm going to want to add the two areas together. This one's going to be 1/2, and that side is 37.8. The other side is 32, and the included angle is 35. Now, when you type these in your calculator, this one is going to give you an area of approximately 338.3. This one is going to give you an area of approximately 694.3. So our total area should be 1,032.6 centimeters squared. All right, so take some time to practice that. It's definitely a lot, but it's a really good problem because it pulls all of our skills together.